Welcome back, Drifters. We've spent the last month watching the news from across the Atlantic. We've seen the United Kingdom fall into a feverish, violent silence. We called it the London situation. We told ourselves that an ocean is a moat that no virus could ever swim. But curiosity is a dangerous passenger. And sometimes, the very people trying to solve the riddle are the ones who accidentally invite the monster inside. They say that no man is an island, but out in the dark reaches of the Pacific, Catalina comes close. 22 miles of cold salt water separate the neon glow of Los Angeles from the quiet streets of Avalon. In the peak of the season, it's a paradise of glass-bottomed boats and sun-drenched tourists. But in the off hours, the fog rolls in, the crowds vanish, and the island becomes a sanctuary for the few who remain. Tonight, we aren't just listening to a radio broadcast. We're listening into the final frantic heartbeat of an island being consumed by a rage it never understood. If you find yourself enjoying these journeys into the dark, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It's the only way to ensure our signal doesn't get lost in the static of the multiverse. And for those looking to support the mission further, check out the links waiting for you in the description below. Every contribution helps keep the lights on, even as the rest of the world descends into a dark rage. But for now, turn off the lights and settle in. The transmission starts now. Log entry. This is Deputy Jack Anderson, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, Avalon, running the desk. We've got some light rain coming down tonight. A little bit of thunder, but not enough to wash out the roads. It is enough to keep tourists in the bars and the harbor quiet. Most of the express ferries have wrapped up for the day, but with the weather being mild, we might still have a few private charters or late arrivals trickling into the mole. Current calls for service are 0. We had a domestic disturbance over on Metropole earlier. Standard he said, she said, fueled by too much tequila. But they've settled down for the night. Unit 2's on patrol, checking locks at the harbor and keeping an eye out for late arrivals. People often ask, why does LA County Sheriff end up out here? It's a different world. No high-speed chases, no tactical entries. Most nights, the biggest threat to public safety is a tourist who thinks they can swim to the mainland, or a local who's had one too many at the Marlin Club. Hell, last week I had to hike out to the golf course at 3 a.m. because somebody reported a corpse in a sand trap. Turned out it was a guy from the mainland who got lost looking for his hotel. Decided the sand was warmer than the grass. Took 10 minutes of shaking him just to get a coherent sentence out of him. That's life in Avalon. We're 22 miles from the chaos of the city, and honestly, it's just how we like it. The air is calm, hills are dark, and the only thing I have to worry about is making sure my coffee doesn't go cold before my relief shows up. Having said that, here's to Avalon. Stay quiet tonight.
Avalon, Unit 2. Just pulling out of the garage. I'm 10-8 for the night.
Copy that, Sanchez. Glad you could join us. You missed the start of the rain, but don't worry. Plenty of puddle watching left to do.
Yeah, I see that. It's a ghost town out here already. Honestly, Jack, I don't mind the quiet tonight. I spent most of my day glued to the news. That stuff happening over in Britain, it's getting weird, man. They're saying it's some kind of viral outbreak. Extreme aggression, total lockdowns. BBC was showing empty streets in London. It's creepy as hell.
Stick to the island, Sanchez. Whatever's happening over there is a long way from us. You start worrying about neuroviral hemorrhaging and you're going to give yourself an ulcer. How about you focus on patrolling the harbor and not just playing snakes on that Nokia all night?
Hey, I'm offended. I hit a new high score earlier. Thank you very much. Besides, it's after 9, so 3 minutes kicked in. I'm going to check in with my girl back in LA once I finish the first loop. She's all worked up about the news, too.
Hey, man, tell her to turn off the TV and go to bed. That's a long way away. And all we have here is problems with tourists tripping over their own feet, so just stay on the frequency, all right? And try to keep the calls brief.
Copy that. I'll be over by the mole if you need me. Unit 2 out.
Logging Unit 2, Deputy Sanchez, 10-8. Kids on the road and got a bit of the mainland jitters tonight. He spent his entire day off watching the feed from London, it sounds like. It's all anybody talks about lately. The nightmare in Britain. It's like watching a slow-motion car crash on a global scale. Nobody can agree on how it started or how it's moving. One minute it's a neuro outbreak, and the next it's something else. All we know is the UK has gone dark, and the shockwaves are finally hitting out here. Washington has the entirety of Europe on a trade block. If it comes from across the Atlantic, it's stuck in a warehouse or rotting on a freighter. It's making things interesting for us. Living on Catalina, you realize pretty quick you don't own anything. You just borrow it from the mainland until the next ferry arrives. Now, with the bans, even the basic stuff's harder to find at the bonds. It's hitting the researchers the hardest. People forget we've got more than bison and kelp out here. We have facilities, marine bio, wildlife labs. They're part of a massive international web. They're constantly importing samples and equipment from France, Germany, even the UK. Or at least they used to. Anything with a British postmark is strictly radioactive as far as customs is concerned. Everything. Even the biomaterials for the Marine Center, it's all held at the Port of Long Beach by customs for strict inspection before it's allowed on a barge. I've been telling the deputies to keep their heads in the game. The island is isolated, sure, but that's what makes it safe. As long as customs do their job at the port, the only thing we have to worry about is a few grumpy buffalo and the occasional rain-slicked road. Avalon Sheriff Station, Deputy Anderson.
Yes, hello? This is Mrs. Shaughnessy over on Marilla Avenue?
Evening, Mrs. Shaughnessy. A little late for a social call. Something going on?
It's those damn buffalo again. One of the big bulls is right in front of my garden. He's knocking over ceramic planters and staring at me through the window. He looks agitated with the rain. I'm worried he's going to put a horn through the glass.
Miss Shaughnessy, the bison have as much right to the island as we do, maybe more. He's probably looking for a dry spot under your eaves. Just keep the lights dim and keep away from the window. He'll move on.
But he's making this awful sound. It's...
It's probably the thunder, Mrs. Shaughnessy. Animals get spooked just like we do. Tell you what, I'll have a deputy swing by on his next loop, and he can give the big guy a little nudge with the spotlight, okay? We can't arrest Buffalo for trespassing.
Well, just tell him to be careful. The poor thing looks like it's having a fit.
Understood, ma'am. Just stay inside. Try to get some sleep. Good night, Mrs. Shaughnessy. Unit 2, Avalon.
Go for Unit 2.
When you're done playing with that Nokia, swing by and check on Mrs. Shaughnessy. She's got a hostile buffalo in her petunias. Give it a high beam flash so she can go to sleep, please.
Copy that. On my way to play Buffalo Whisperer for Mrs. Shaughnessy. Unit 2 out.
Deputy Anderson, Avalon Station.
Jack, it's Lieutenant Sawyer at the Mainland desk. How's my favorite vacation spot holding up?
Hey, LT. Well, the rain's coming down, buffalo are acting up, and I'm investigating a high-stakes case of ceramic planter destruction. It's a war zone out here.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Look, I'm calling because I just got off a briefing with the undersheriff. They're tightening the screws on the maritime traffic.
More trade blocks?
Worse. They're talking about enhanced screening. For every private vessel crossing the channel, they're worried about people panic traveling out of Europe and trying to bypass major ports. I need you and the deputies to keep a hard eye on the harbor tonight. No courtesy dockings. If a boat doesn't have a manifest cleared to Long Beach, they don't touch the pier. Period.
Understood, sir, but you know how it is. Private charters and yachties, they just pull into a mooring and row a dinghy in.
Not tonight. Tell the harbor master to keep the lights on, radio tuned to the emergency channel. Oh, and Jack, the feds are asking about private research labs out there, specifically the Wrigley Center. They want a log of everyone who's been in or out of that facility in the last 48 hours.
The lab? Is there a problem?
No, Just an abundance of caution, but the UK situation has everyone jumping at shadows. Apparently, some samples left London before the lockdown and they're being tracked, so just keep your eyes open. If anyone from the labs calls in with anything, I don't care if it's a broken light bulb, you call me on the direct line right away. Understood?
10-4, LT. I'll keep Sanchez and my other deputies on a short leash.
Good. Stay dry. Sawyer out.
Avalon Sheriff Station, Deputy Anderson.
Hello. My name's Jennifer. I'm one of the lead counselors over at the Emerald Bay camp. We have that high school senior oceanography group from the mainland in this week.
Right. The class trip. Everything okay out there, Jennifer? You're a little far out for a house call with the weather like it is.
Well, mostly. I just caught a group of 4 seniors behind the mess hall. They have a bottle of vodka that they clearly smuggled in. I confiscated the bottle and they're back in their bunks, but the school policy's really strict. I'm supposed to notify local law enforcement. I just have to get an incident report.
Ma'am, it's raining, it's late, and we don't have a lot of deputies out tonight, so unless they're getting violent or trying to swim back to Long Beach, I don't know if I can send anyone all the way out to the West End tonight just for some Smirnoff.
Oh, I know. I'm not asking for a siren. I just have to log that I called it in. They're just being kids. They're really excited to be on the island. I think the rain's been keeping them from trying to hike out or do anything fun. They were talking about hiking to the lab to see some mutant fish they keep joking about.
Which lab? The Wrigley Center?
Yeah, you know how kids are. They heard all the rumors about research and with all the stuff on the news. I told them it's just a bunch of people looking at plankton, but they have their imaginations.
Okay, well, just try to keep them in their bunks tonight. I'll make a note of the call for your report.
Thank you, Deputy. Hopefully they'll just pass out and we can have a nice quiet morning. Good night.
Avalon Sheriff Station, Deputy Anderson.
Deputy, this is Dr. Thomas over at the Soulless Institute. I'm calling to fulfill our updated transparency protocol.
Right, Solus. Let me grab my log sheet. Our lieutenant mentioned you guys might be checking in. You're doing research near Little Harbor, right?
That's us. Per the new directive from the Port of Long Beach, we're required to log any international biomaterials currently on site. We received a shipment of human blood samples from a clinic in France. They cleared customs nearly 2 months ago, long before the nightmare in London started, but because they're international, we're reporting them now for the record.
Just writing this down. Samples from France. Cleared customs 2 months back. Just out of curiosity, Doctor, what exactly are you guys doing with a bunch of French blood out here on a rock in the Pacific?
It's not as mad scientist as it sounds, Deputy. We're studying the local island fox and the harbor seal populations. They have a remarkably high immunity to common mainland canine and respiratory diseases. We use the human samples as a control group to test how the synthetic antibodies interact with human white blood cells. We're trying to see if we can bridge the gap, create a universal vaccine that works across species.
Okay, so you're looking for a kind of cure-all, using local wildlife to save the rest of us.
In a manner of speaking. The French samples were chosen specifically for a unique genetic marker they carry. Everything is double-contained level 3 protocol. We've been processing this batch for weeks with no issues. But we wanted to make sure the Sheriff's Department had it documented so there's no confusion given the current climate.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, Doctor. Between the UK news and a woman calling earlier about a hostile buffalo, a little transparency goes a long way.
Glad to help. We'll be in the lab most of the night processing, so if you see our lights on from the road, don't worry. It's just the midnight oil. Good night, Deputy.
Avalon Sheriff Station, Deputy Anderson.
Hi, Jack. It's Nicole over at the Atwater.
Hey, Nicole. You staying dry over there?
Trying to. Listen, I hate to call you for this, but I've got a situation in room 302. It's Mr. Harrison. He's a regular. Comes out from London every couple of years for a month-long stay to paint the harbor.
Yeah, I think I know the guy. Quiet guy, always wears a tweed cap.
That's him, but he's not quiet tonight, Jack. He's been in the lounge since it opened, and he's had too much to drink. He's back in his room now, but the guest next door called the desk because they can hear him shouting.
Shouting? At who?
Nobody. That's the problem. He's been trying to call his daughter in Manchester for 3 days. With the phone lines down over there and the satellite blackout, he hasn't heard a word. He's convinced himself that, well, you've seen the news. He's a wreck. He's throwing things. I think he's just scared and all alone.
Oh, God. Hey, I can't blame him. I can't imagine sitting on an island while your whole world goes dark 10,000 miles away.
I don't want to kick him out, especially not in this weather, but I was hoping maybe you or another deputy could stop by. Just a friendly welfare check. He respects the uniform. Maybe you could talk him into some coffee and a few hours of sleep.
Okay, I got a couple deputies out tonight. I'll have one of them swing back towards town once they're clear. Tell Mr. Harrison the sheriff's department's just asking him to keep it down, but hey, tell him gently, all right?
Thanks, Jack. I'll try to get some tea up to him in the meantime. It makes it feel very real, you know? Seeing him like that?
It's real enough. Just keep things locked up and try to keep him comfortable. I'll send a unit as soon as I can.
I appreciate it. Good night, Jack.
Avalon Sheriff Station, Deputy Anderson.
Hey, Jack. It's Smitty down at the Liquor and Deli. Sorry to bug you on a night like this. I know you're probably busy with the rain and the radio and everything, but I've got a situation on my hands.
Smitty, let me guess. The rain's driving the tourists inside, but it's driving old Kevin right to your door.
You hit the nail on the head. I'm trying to close up early. It's not like anyone's out buying anything tonight, but old Kevin's decided my front doorstep's his private patio for the evening.
I got right, Smitty. This is a public thoroughfare. You tell that badge clown I ain't moving.
You hear that? He's been out here for an hour. He's half lit on that cheap fortified wine and harassing the few people trying to get their groceries before the rain really kicks it up a notch.
Okay, what's he doing exactly, Smitty? Just being a nuisance, or is he blocking the actual entrance?
He's shouting at tourists, telling them the end is nigh and redcoats are coming. He's been watching the damn news reports from Britain through the window of the TV shop down the street. It's scrambled what's left of his brains.
Blood's on the water, Smitty. You saw the news. They're eating each other over there.
Shut it, Kevin. Go find a damn dry bench. Look, I don't want the old coot in a cell, but if he stays out here, he's going to catch pneumonia or a stray fist. Can't you just have someone come out and, I don't know, put him in the back of a cruiser and get him to a shelter or something?
Well, I've got him headed over to the Atwater for a guy who's having an actual tragedy, Smitty. Sounds like Kevin's just having a Tuesday. Let him know if he doesn't clear out in 10 minutes, I'll come down there myself. And I won't be bringing a blanket, I'll be bringing handcuffs.
I'll tell him, but you know Kevin, he's got a thick skull and, ugh.
You're just a puppet for the man. The red eyes are coming for us all.
Good night, Smitty. Stay dry. Avalon Station, Deputy Anderson.
Deputy, sorry to bother you again. It's Dr. Thomas over at Solus. We've had a bit of a complication here at the facility.
What kind of complication, Doctor?
Well, we were moving into the challenge phase of the study, testing the synthetic antibodies against the French serum, and one of our test foxes, a local kid we've been monitoring, well, there was a containment breach. The animal was exposed to the catalyzed blood sample.
Exposed? You mean it got out of its cage?
It's more than that. My colleague, Dr. Ross, and I were observing the reaction after the injection, and the animal had an almost instantaneous neurological shift. Hyperaggression. It's gone completely rabid. Far faster than any strain of rabies I've ever seen. It's currently loose in the primary containment bay. We've managed to seal the magnetic doors, but it's tearing the lab apart.
Okay, so you've got a loose, aggressive animal, but it's in a locked room.
Well, actually, I'm calling because I've been digging through the digital manifest for that specific sample. I wanted to see if there was a specific contaminant in the French batch that could cause this kind of, violent reaction, but the paperwork is misleading.
Misleading how?
The shipment was logged as originating in Lyon, France, but, that's what cleared customs. The deeper metadata, the original lab tracking ID, shows a transshipment. It was originally drawn and processed at a research hospital in South London, St. Jude's. It sat in a Paris lab for about a month before being forwarded to us 2 months ago.
London? Do you think this has anything to do with what's happening over there?
Well, I'm not jumping to conclusions yet. It's likely just an unfortunate coincidence. The London news is quite recent, and we've had this blood for 8 weeks. But given the origin directive we know about, I'm legally obligated to notify you of the UK link immediately.
Okay, well, I appreciate the heads up, Doc. Listen, I'm going to get on the horn with the Catalina Wildlife Control, and I'll get a tech headed your way to help with the animal. I'll also send my deputy up there. He can provide backup and take a report. Looks like he's still not clear from his current call, but he'll join animal control up there.
We'd appreciate that. We don't want to have to terminate the animal if we can avoid it.
Right. I'll have my deputy bring a catch pole and some heavy restraints, just so we're not taking any chances. Just do me a favor, stay behind the doors till they arrive.
Thank you, Deputy. Dr. Ross and I will remain in our observation wing and wait for further instructions.
Wildlife Control is Pete. Just about the goats on the golf course again. Just tell them to open the gate and let them out.
Pete, it's Jack Anderson at the deputy station. Put the sandwich down. I've got a situation at the Solis Institute near Little Harbor.
Solis? What, a raccoon get into their high-tech trash again?
Not quite. They've got an island fox that's gone, they called it hyper-aggressive. It was exposed to some lab materials, and I guess it's tearing up their containment bay.
Jack, it's a 4-pound fox. It's a cat with a bushy tail. What's it going to do? Bark at the microscopes?
Well, Pete, they requested a specialist, so I'm sending Sanchez up there when I can with a catch pole, but you'll have to get a head start. Bring your heavy gloves and a trank kit.
Fine. I'll go play fox catcher in the rain, but you tell Thomas that thing bit a wire and is high on electricity. I'm billing him for the house call.
Just get there, Pete. And hey, they mentioned the fox was exposed to some lab samples that originated in London.
London, like the no-fly zone London?
Yeah, exactly. So just keep your guard up.
Yeah, okay. I'm out the door. I'll let you know when I get there. Sawyer.
Hey, LT, it's Jack.
Hey, Jack. How's the island holding up? You guys getting hit as hard by this rain as we are? Heard the ferry might be running on a delay tomorrow if the swells don't die down.
It's coming down pretty good, yeah. We're staying dry for the most part, but, hey, listen, I've got a bit of a situation developing at the Solis Institute, and I need you to put it on your radar.
Solis, right. The research place. What'd they do? Lose a laptop?
I wish. I just got off the phone with Dr. Thomas. You remember that directive you mentioned earlier about tracking all the international shipments? Well, he did a deep dive into his logs. Turns out he's got a blood shipment on site that was a bit more complicated than the paperwork suggested.
Complicated how?
Well, the manifest said it originated in Lyon, France, but they checked the metadata, and as it turns out, the original lab tracking ID shows it was actually drawn and processed at a trauma center in South London, St. Jude's. It routed through Paris to get here.
London, huh? Well, that's a hell of a clerical screw-up by the port of entry. I'm guessing it's one of those pre-cleared research batches.
Well, looks like it. And hey, Lieutenant, it's not a recent arrival. They've had this stuff in their lab for 2 months.
60 days? Jesus. Well, at least we know it's not related to the current mess over there if it's been sitting in a fridge since March. Still, the port director's going to have a heart attack if he hears a UK trauma sample got flagged as French marine research. It's a massive breach of protocol.
Well, maybe, but they had a primary exposure tonight. A lab animal, island fox. It got into a catalyzed sample, so the doc says the thing went from 0 to rabid in about 10 seconds. I guess it's tearing up their containment bay. I've got wildlife control and one of my deputies headed up there now.
Aggression, huh? Yeah, could be a lot of things. Tainted serum, bad reaction to the fox's biology, but given the origin, we can't play fast and loose. Look, Anderson, if that blood's from a UK trauma site, we need to treat this as a standard biohazard protocol. I don't want any of our guys getting bit by a rabid fox or ending up in a lawsuit because the lab didn't disclose the source.
Exactly my thought. I told them to bring their catch pole. I had animal control grab tranks. I let them know to keep their distance.
Good. I'll give the port director a call, and then I'll get a hold of CDC liaison at Long Beach. We need to find out how that routing error happened, so keep a tight log on this, Jack. If it turns into a health scare or an insurance nightmare for Solis, I want the sheriff's department timeline to be perfect.
Yeah, 10-4, I'm on it. I'll keep you posted if anything changes.
Thanks, Jack. Try to stay dry over there. I'll let you know what Customs says.
Shift notes. Situation at the Institute has shifted from a routine transparency log to a significant administrative oversight. Per Lieutenant Sawyer's directive, the primary concern now lies with the Port of Long Beach and the Department of Agriculture. It's the same old story. One hand doesn't know what the other's doing. Got a grade A research sample from a London trauma center sitting in a French freezer for a month, and by the time it hits our docks, it's another box of marine research. 60 days, this has been sitting in our backyard. If Dr. Thomas hadn't been diligent with his data, we'd be calling it French. Now, we've got a lab animal that has a bad reaction to a catalyzed sample. Dr. Thomas called it hyper-aggressive, but he's a man of science. They tend to use big words for a mean bite. Still, protocol's protocol, so if the origin's in the UK, we treat it as a biohazard liability. Pete from Animal Control's on his way up to the tranquilizer kit. My deputy will be up there to provide an official report once he's clear of the outwater. It's going to be a long night of paperwork, and I told you so's from the mainland. Station 7, Anderson.
Jack! Jack, he opened the door!
Who opened the door? Dr. Thomas, slow down.
Hey, the wildlife tech. He wouldn't wait for your deputy. He said it was just a fox. Said he'd handled hundreds of them. He opened the magnetic seal with his catch pole, and the thing, it didn't even run at him, it launched.
Okay, is he all right? Did he get the animal?
It hit him in the throat. It didn't even bite, it just shredded him. Pete's on the ground. He's convulsing. We need EMS. It looks like a grand mal seizure. His whole body is arching off the floor. There's a lot of blood.
Okay, doctor, listen, I'm calling paramedics now.
Wait. He's stopping. Pete. Hey, Pete. Hey, Pete. Pete, stay down, man. You got a neck wound. Pete, no! Send somebody over here. He's attacking Dr. Ross. He just lunged at her. Get off her! Get off her!
Dr. Thomas? Dr. Thomas, talk to me. Hello? Unit 2, Sanchez, Avalon. Sanchez, acknowledge.
Go for Unit 2, Jack. I'm just getting a statement from Nicole at the Outwater. We're almost...
Drop the statement. Abandon the Outwater call. I need you to roll Code 3 to the Solis Institute right now. Lights and sirens, everything. I want you on that ridge 5 minutes ago.
Copy that. Code 3. Jack, what the hell's going on? I thought we were backing a fox.
It's not the fox. Pete, the guy from Animal Control's down. He's, My God, I was on the line with Thomas. Animal Control opened the door. The fox got him in the neck. They said he started convulsing and then stood up. He attacked them. He attacked both doctors. I heard it. I heard the whole thing, and then the line's dead.
Animal Control attacked them? That doesn't make any sense. What's going on up there?
I don't know what it is, but listen to me. Just secure the building, wait outside, let me coordinate with Mainland. Keep the doors locked, have your sidearm ready. If you see anyone else coming at you out of that building, just be careful. You copy?
Copy that. I'm hitting the canyon road now. I'll be there in 3 minutes.
Sawyer here. Jack, tell me you got that lab under control.
LT, things just took a turn for the worse. I had that doctor on the line, the wildlife tech's down. The animal got him. Doctor said he had some kind of massive seizure. When he got up, he snapped. He started attacking the staff. I heard the struggle. Sounded like a riot. The line went dead before I could get him to a secure area.
Attacking the staff? What are we talking about here, Jack? Allergic reaction? Some kind of high-grade stimulant in the sample?
I don't know. The doctor was panicked. He said the guy's behavior changed in seconds. I've got Sanchez rolling code 3 up there now. I told him to stay out in his cruiser until he's got eyes on the situation. We need more than one deputy for this.
If he's acting out like that, it's likely a violent psychotic break. If that blood came from a London trauma ward, God knows what kind of experimental drugs were in that donor's system. Listen, I'm not taking any chances with your skeleton crew. I'm authorizing an emergency transport.
A transport? How soon?
I've got a private ferry transport being prepped at Long Beach Terminal right now. I'm sending over 6 additional deputies and a team of 4 customs officers. They need to secure those samples and get a handle on the liability and clerical error.
Deputies and customs? Lieutenant, if this is a chemical exposure, I think we might need a hazmat team or some specialized medical.
Following the protocol for a Class 4 chemical breach for now. Customs boys are coming because, well, they're the ones who let the shipment through. They want to get their own eyes on how it got mislabeled. They'll be on the island in about 90 minutes. Tell Sanchez to hold the perimeter. Don't let anyone in or out of that facility until the reinforcements arrive.
Waiting for that ferry is going to feel like forever, Lieutenant.
I hear you, but listen, don't let the news from the UK get in your head. People are jumping at shadows. We'll deal with the lab accident and a mislabeled crate, secure the scene, keep everybody safe, wait for the ferry.
Copy that. I'll stay on the radio.
Avalon Unit 2. Jack, I'm on site. I'm parked about 50 yards back from the main entrance to the facility.
Copy that, Sanchez. I have you at the perimeter. Are you seeing anything?
It's quiet. Real quiet. I see the wildlife truck here. It's idling in front of the loading bay. Driver's side door wide open. I don't see anybody.
All right, 10-4. Stay by your vehicle. I talked to Lieutenant Sawyer. He's got a ferry coming with backup for us. We just have to hold the line for about an hour, 90 minutes maybe.
Jack, I'm looking at that main lobby glass. Interior lights are flickering, and I can see silhouettes moving in there. At least 3.
Can you ID any of them? Is it doctors?
I can't tell. They're not saying anything or doing anything. They're just standing there. But they're moving weird. One of them's near the reception desk, and he keeps jerking. His whole upper body's twitching like he's having a seizure in his neck. He keeps shrugging his left shoulder real fast, over and over. It's like a facial tic, but his whole body's doing it.
Is he injured? Can you see blood or anything?
Well, I can't see detail through the rain and the glass, but the other one, the taller one's doing it too. It's like they've got 1,000 volts of electricity running through them. I can't tell if they're talking to each other. They're just staring at the floor and twitching.
Maybe it's a nerve agent. A chemical leak. Maybe some central nervous system thing. That would explain the aggression they reported. Well, whatever you do, just stay out there. Just wait for backup.
Copy that. I'm staying put. But hey, Jack, the one by the desk, he just stopped. He's leveled his head. He's looking right at my cruiser's spotlights. He isn't moving now. He's just watching.
10-4, partner. Stay calm. Cavalry's on their way. Just keep your eyes on them. Dispatcher shift notes. Weather remains rainy, low visibility. Per Lieutenant Sawyer's direct orders, I'm maintaining a localized incident log regarding the Institute breach for secondary review by LASD HQ and Customs. Situation remains static but unstable. Unit 2 is currently holding the perimeter at the facility. He's reporting multiple unidentified subjects visible through lobby glass. Subjects are exhibiting abnormal motor function. rapid, repetitive shrugging of the shoulders and violent neck twitching. No attempts at communication have been made by the subjects, and no calls for medical assistance. The Mainland's authorized an emergency ferry. ETA might be 80 or 90 minutes. They're carrying a tactical and an administrative team. Lieutenant wants a bulletproof timeline, and he's getting it. But the silhouettes in that lobby, they're not waiting for a ferry. And they're wound tight enough to snap. I'm going to conduct another 1042 welfare check on Officer Sanchez. I'll report back and continue to log my findings. Log in. Unit 2 Avalon, status check. How's that lobby looking? Unit 2 Avalon, Sanchez, if you can hear me, key your mic. You don't have to give a verbal, just key your mic. Sanchez, talk to me. Are those people still in that lobby? Have they moved? Sawyer's Ferry's on the way. I need to know you're holding that perimeter. Please acknowledge. Lieutenant, update on the lab perimeter. Be advised, I've lost radio contact with Unit 2.
Static or equipment failure?
With the weather, unknown. He was supposed to provide interval check-ins, but he hasn't. Before he went dark, he reported subjects in the lobby were exhibiting abnormal motor function spasms. He was holding position, but I haven't heard a verbal acknowledgement since.
All right, listen. We've got the ferry moving. Captain says they're pushing through some rough swells, but they're on schedule. Got 6 deputies and customs team on board. They'll be at the Avalon Pier soon.
LT, soon feels like a lifetime right now. I've got a non-responsive deputy on a ridge with a potential biohazard exposure. Can you coordinate with the Long Beach Coast Guard? See if maybe they can get a bird in the air or a cutter down to Little Harbor? I can't leave this desk or I lose the island's comms entirely.
We've already been on with the Coast Guard, but nobody's flying out there right now. You stay at that desk. You're the only link between that ridge and the mainland. If Unit 2's dealing with a chemical psychosis event, he needs you on the radio.
Understood. I'm staying on the console, but LT, if the ferry hits 80 minutes and I still haven't heard from Unit 2, we might not be looking for a deputy anymore. We might be needing a recovery team.
Copy that, Jack. I'll update you when they're close. Keep trying to raise them.
Avalon Station, Deputy Anderson, state your emergency.
My name's Jackie. I'm down at the Two Harbors General Store. I have an intruder here. I'm barricaded in the back office.
Understood, ma'am. Is the intruder armed, and has he made any verbal contact?
No, he hasn't said anything. He's not using a weapon. He came through our front display window. He just ran through the glass, and he's hitting the office door with his head. He's just slamming his face into the wood.
Hey, listen to me, Jackie. I'll try to get help to you as soon as possible. Can you look for a secondary exit or, maybe a heavy object to brace the door? Do you know who this suspect is?
I think it's Mr. Henriksen from the bakery, but his eyes are completely bloodshot. Oh, not just the veins, the whole eye is red. He's making this sound like he's choking on his own spit.
Jackie? Jackie? Avalon Anderson, give me your location and your emergency.
I'm at 412 Marilla. I'm in the crawl space under the stairs. My mom came home from the harbor and she didn't even say hi. She just ran into the kitchen and started... I think she was eating the cat. There was a lot of noise.
Is your mom still in the kitchen?
No. She's upstairs now. She's running back and forth in the hallway. I can hear her feet. They're so loud. And she's screaming, but it doesn't sound like her. It sounds like a tea kettle.
Okay, buddy. Stay very quiet and don't move.
She stopped. I think she heard me talking to you. I can see her feet at the bottom of the stairs. She's shaking. Her ankles are twitching so fast they're hitting the wood.
Don't breathe, kid. Stay on the line with me. Just stay up.
No, she's looking at the vent. Mommy, no!
Avalon Station, Anderson, talk to me.
Hello, this is Vance over at the terraces. I'm looking down towards the plaza. There's a crowd coming up from the waterfront. It looks like a riot, but they're not stopping.
Okay, Mr. Vance, I need a head count. How many do you see?
At least 50 more pouring out of alleys, and they're sprinting. They're not shouting or carrying signs. They're just running a dead run straight up Metropole.
Are they attacking people, Vance?
A golf cart tried to pull out near the arcade. They didn't even slow down. They just swarmed it. It flipped, and they kept going over the top of it. They're moving like a single wave heading for Canyon Road.
Okay, listen to me carefully. Get inside right now. Don't look for an exit. Don't grab anything. Just go into your bathroom if you need to. Lock the door. Get in the tub.
They're passing under my balcony now. I can hear them. They're twitching. Their shoulders are... One of them just looked up. His eyes glowed red in the streetlights.
Just get inside. Mainland Station 7, please respond. Where's that ferry? I've got a loss of order in the residential sectors. I've just taken 3 1033 calls in under 10 minutes. I've got a kid at 412 Marilla, mother attacking her own child, another at the general store, victims down, multiple assailants. The civilian population isn't doing well. I need help. Please confirm. Got reports of a mob, at least 50 subjects sprinting up Metropole towards the canyon, moving at extreme speeds, swarming vehicles, entering buildings. We have no containment. I repeat, no containment. Mainland, do you copy? I'm the only unit left on the air. Unit 2 is still non-responsive. I need those deputies, and I need them at the pier now. I don't care about the swells. If that boat doesn't dock in the next 5 minutes, there's not going to be much of a town left. Please give me an ETA. Does anyone copy? Avalon Station, what's your emergency?
Hello? Is this the police? Look, I'm so sorry, and the reception's probably terrible out here. I'm near the Little Harbor Overlook.
Yeah, I hear you, sir. State your emergency, please.
I hit somebody. I was coming around the bend, and he just darted out from the brush. I didn't even see him until he hit the windshield. I think I killed him. He's laying in the middle of the road.
Sir, stay in your vehicle. Don't exit the car. I have a major emergency in progress across the island. Please stay in your car and lock your doors.
I can't just leave him out there. It's pouring rain. I have to get out and check for a pulse.
Sir, I'm ordering you to stay in that car. Was that individual exhibiting any strange behavior before you hit him? Was he running?
Well, he was moving fast, yeah. But, okay, I'm walking up to him now. He's face down.
Sir, get back in your car.
Hey, buddy, can you hear me? I'm gonna help you, okay? I'm just gonna... Oh, God!
Sawyer, if you're listening, I hope you've got a damn good reason why boots aren't on the pier yet. I've been sitting in this booth for hours, and I've been listening to the island scream. I'm seeing lights go out in the valley. I've heard neighbors being torn apart over the phone, and I'm still sitting here. I've got addresses of families I can't help. I've got a partner dead or worse on the ridge, and things in the streets. They're not just sick either. They're fast, they're coordinated, they're moving. Someone's at the door. Someone's here. I'm the only one left. I need help. Where's the...
Get back! Get the fuck...
Oh, God. Oh, God. That was Henriksen. He just came at me like an animal. Shots fired. Shots fired. Son of a bitch. Threw up blood all over me, too. It's on my uniform. It's all over my face, in my mouth. God, and I'm burning.
Anybody on this net copy? The ferry's here. We're docking now by the mole.